Hey everyone, it's been a few days, and everybody, welcome to Friday Night Free for All. Where tonight we'll discuss not just Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW, what have it, but some topics we'll get into tonight. And feels good to be back. Things just changing in my life, and we'll probably be going to one telecast right now for the next few weeks, more or less starting next Saturday. So without further ado, let me bring in to you Mr. AJP, Sidewalk Sam himself, Adam Jack Pelly.
What's up, brother?
How we doing, buddy?
I'm all right, man. Just chilling. Yeah, so very glad to hear about your new job, and you're working hard at it, are you?
Yeah, I just for the next few weeks, it's a lot to adjust to. Because you're basically a school. Well, I am a school teacher.
I got glasses.
Yeah, we see you got glasses. Hello from Chicago. And who's this from Chicago? I'm gonna have to go in on my my tablet and see who this is. Hello from Sweet Home, Chicago. And there he is, APOC. Mr. Mike King.
So you were going to set us straight, Rumble.
Listen here.
Listen, you AEW clown.
Oh, everybody's a clown in your world. You're on the payoff.
I'm looking at two of them right now. Well, not.
What are you looking at? A double reflection of yourself?
Yeah, whatever. Okay, Jimmy Fingers.
Oh my God! Everything with you. If it ain't WWE, it
no,
don't.
That's not true. That's not true because that's not true because I'm not happy what they're doing in NXT. So don't even go there.
And we tried telling you that a month ago, and you told us we were wrong.
I didn't think they were actually going to do it.
Well,
so is Adam Cole officially not re-signed to WWE?
I don't know. I heard Mike King was back in the fact that he was going to AEW. Or was that Jimmy Fingers just busting balls?
That was Fingers. I don't know where he's going. If they let him keep his Twitch, he'll resign. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, he's a big gamer. They're all big gamers nowadays. They're all big gamers.
Yep, that social media thing has a lot to do with everything nowadays.
Yeah.
So, what did you think of Monday Night Raw? I mean, I watched I watched an hour of it. I more or less caught NXT. I caught some AEW Dynamite, and I'm watching SmackDown right now, and I'm probably a half hour behind what the national broadcast is because I like having it on. I like having it recorded.
I like with SmackDown watching right now. I like the story they're playing with the Bloodline that they're working.
Yep. I am on assignment in Chicago, on the lookout for CM Punk and free ice cream bars. Jimmy Fingers, you are such a bullshit artist. I'm sorry, it isn't Jimmy Fingers. It's Jerry Leone from Malden, Massachusetts. Sorry, Jerry. If you get a free ice cream bar, let me know. What did you think of NXT? And not for nothing, here's a good one, Mike. With the possible revamp coming, what does it do for a guy like Carmelo Hayes?
Well, that's the question. That's the $1 million question right now. Because they're setting storylines, and they're just going to all of a sudden dump all that stuff going on. And and restart everything on September 14th. It doesn't make any sense.
I think it benefits him because this kid could be the face of NXT in the future.
You're going to see Kyle O'Reilly get released. You're going to see Ciampa get released. You're going to see and get released, and you might even see Joe get released again.
Why?
Well, if the rumor's true that McMahon and Pritchard are taking over NXT,
but
get rid of all the old NXT talent and start anew. If you know, the kids that were in the NXT tournament are now getting more airtime.
Yeah,
I like that Duke Hudson kid. He's a great cocky heel.
I like
arrogant, and just the way he presents himself in the ring. I think he's a great heel.
I think Joe fits the mold on what they would look like to want to look for to help out the guys that they want to bring into NXT to develop.
Well, from what I heard, Joe does not want to go to Raw or SmackDown. So what do you do with him? You keep him as a champion, or you put him backstage?
Do you let him do both? Let him do both.
43.
So what does this say for Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the crew that's down there if Vince McMahon and Pritchard go down to right and take care of that?
No idea. No idea where they go. Zero. It's half of it you can believe and half of it you can't. Who knows? Like at this point, who the frick knows? Supposedly, AEW is going to debut all this new talent on All Out on Sunday. Supposedly Cole, the Iconics, Daniel Bryan, and somebody else. They do that, they're shooting themselves right in the foot.
Is it because our I shouldn't say this because Mike will get mad at me. Is WWE becoming that paranoid of AEW? Do you think?
I don't think they're becoming paranoid. I think like he said a while ago, he's setting them up. That's what I think. But
I don't think
it just seems like what they're taking NXT and just like I don't get it. NXT is the best product they have. It's better than Raw, that's for sure. SmackDown maybe not,
but what they at the end of the day they're all looking at numbers, and NXT isn't getting the numbers they should. We all agree that NXT is the best wrestling out there, but they're not getting the numbers. And at the end of the day, the numbers is what they look at.
True. Jeff Ferguson. How we doing, Jeff? Jefferson James. Yeah, the numbers are what we look at. So, with that being said, how long does NXT stay on the USA Network?
They have to stay on for the next 3 years because they signed a deal. They have no choice. USA is already rip shit mad at WWE. You think they're going to take... They can't take that off.
See what I like? I'm still like the one thing about pro wrestling that is befuddling is there's no real sports center when it comes to it. So it gives you a real daily update. You know what I mean? On what's going on, what they're thinking.
A lot of the talent, from what I don't know how true this article is, but a lot of the talent is said to be very upset with the way WWE and direction they're going. A lot of talent want to get back to professional wrestling, and it's not. And I agree. You know, a lot of it's too many skits, too many interviews. Just let them work. Like AJ Styles is probably the best worker right now in the business. And just let him work. And he's stuck in a stupid tag team gimmick with fucking Omos.
And at the same point, I think they put Omos with AJ because they felt AJ could help him along.
Right, and I agree with that. And they don't want to expose Omos for what he is, like they did like Karrion Kross got exposed by Cole. And I'm sure Cole didn't do it on purpose, but he just exposed them for what it really is. The shits.
Maybe we're looking at with Almost and AJ that both of them got to separate at some point. You can either turn Almost into a big heel, or you can turn Almost and turn AJ back into a babyface.
But who's going to be legitimately and realistically? AJ shouldn't be able to put his hands on or bump Almost.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but Almost could pummel him and get AJ sympathy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Good to hear, Jeff.
DWI.
So
your dad gets hit with lung cancer, then your godfather / uncle gets hit with lung cancer, and then your brother gets DWI.
what is that?
It's just fuck, man.
I'm talking to somebody on Messenger that's not having a good moment right now.
Daddy, you want to see this?
Yeah, I liked your mental health post there, Mike.
I said the same thing. I didn't want to say nothing when he said that.
Look at this.
I liked your mental health post there.
This is coming. That's coming from the biggest clown on this page. That kid is fucking clueless. You are the biggest mark going, Dog King, and I'm not even right now. You are a dumb mark.
Who is it?
Did Mike just compare Almost?
It says Gorilla Precision.
Yeah, it's a good analogy. What, it wasn't a good analogy that Almost isn't really ready to be on TV yet. So what?
Well, no. Put it this way: Karrion Kross.
Do you think Karrion Kross is a good worker? Yes or no?
He's a good character.
Thank you. He's not a good worker. He was
I agree.
by Gargano and by Adam Cole.
We've already discussed in this podcast before he's overrated.
Yeah,
we said this before he's overrated.
I believe Almost can reach potential of being the next Braun Strowman.
That's not saying much.
Braun Strowman sold merch. Braun Strowman sold figures. Was a solid character for Vince McMahon.
And
true.
And anybody gets and let's put it this way: anybody that gets picked to work with Shane McMahon at a WrestleMania is pretty,
Okay, so they did that. They did that to try to get him over more than as a bigger character. Correct? Do you agree?
Yes, but it's trust. Shane just ain't gonna trust anybody just to say get him over.
Right.
Got to admit that. We both know that. We all three of us know that.
Well, there's only 3 real workers on this page right now because Bozo's afraid. He's not even a worker. He's afraid to come on because I'll blast him.
He's
mad
because
that pumpkin's bigger than his head.
So, whatever vegetables he's getting out of his garden are making his brain go crazy. Did we all agree that Braun Strowman had his best match against Shane? Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
It was decent, but he fagged out of the bump. Sorry.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
He almost killed himself on the bump on the top of the cage. So, come on, you dog pussy. He should be the cat king.
So off topic here and on SmackDown right now, I think I called this. Baron Corbin is now Happy Corbin, and he's rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ruined that gimmick.
Oh, I love it.
That gimmick that Corbin was doing, being poor, was great.
Yeah, I agree. Now, but you know what? He's going to become poor again.
No.
I'm driving. I believe if
He's
I
driving.
believe.
Yeah, he's driving. I'm sure he's driving.
Who are you driving? Your kids and your wife nuts?
Probably. He runs his mouth. You know what he is? He is a keyboard tough guy, right? But then when it comes to go face to face with somebody, we get those excuses. I'm driving. I'm working. I'm sick. Well, no, I shouldn't. Well, being sick is one thing. Sick in the head, maybe, but you know. That's why I call you a mark, because you run your mouth and then you don't come on and back it up.
So, since 3 wrestlers are on here,
Yeah.
this is something I'd like to bring up. So the other night, AEW does a spot in their show where there was a beatdown, and people have yet to see CM Punk wrestle in 8 years. With Darby Allin, Sting, and what have you. There was a gimmick in the ring. Oh, dude, I love the gimmick that they got Shinsuke's partner dressed in. Hilarious. So, anyways, he made fun of the fact that if the WWE had did that they would have turned that match into a 6-man tag team match. And I made reference to it that's right. I would have liked to have seen that done. I find nothing wrong with that formula. And I basically put it's like having an appetizer before the main course. And here's my 2 cents. Here's more than my 2 cents. When we first broke in to indie wrestling, it didn't last long, but I'll take it from this. Working with Silvano Souza, because it was before the internet, the formula to when you went to a town was they could put the belt on any guy.
Yep.
Because nobody knew who the champ was. Okay? There was no way to follow it. And the champ would always go out there. If it was a baby face, there'd be a beatdown. At times, there'd be a one-on-one main event match. But at some point, say more than 50% of the times, that one-on-one matchup would turn in to a 6-man or to a tag team main event matchup, because that's the bodies the fans would want to ultimately see in the ring. And which brings me back to the point that, number one, people want to complain about writing stories. AEW could have wrote a great story with that, because you have CM Punk and Darby Allin going into a match. Now, the point I want to make from this is that Allin and CM Punk really have had no ifs, ands, or buts to lock up. It's CM Punk basically going, I sat at home for 8 years in Darby Allin. If I was 15, you would be my favorite wrestler. Now I'm going to wrestle you. Well, I think that the other night, Wednesday night, would have been a perfect time. You put all 6 guys together in the ring, and basically, I wouldn't have wanted Darby, and you could have created something with Darby and CM Punk heat-wise going into that match in Chicago. Mainly them not going over. And not for nothing, but nobody's seen CM Punk wrestle except for that on Heels the other night on Stars.
I'll tell you, and to be honest with you, what he did in the ring Wednesday night,
yeah,
a little rusty.
Yeah,
he was blown up.
Yeah, those punches on the when he was up on the corner.
Oh yes.
The go to sleep, it was all right. It's not like he usually hits it, but again, he hasn't wrestled in 8 years.
Who put this? AEW has fucked up the entire All Out card because of all the attention on Punk. No, I don't believe they have. I think the more attention on CM Punk right now is creating.
The clown, Bozo did. Dog King put it up.
I think that, Mike, I know you're not an AEW guy, but you got to agree that with CM Punk on this pay-per-view Sunday night and the potentiality of these other people showing up, you can't tell me that the pay-per-view buy is not going to be out of, it's going to break any record they've had thus far. Wouldn't you agree at that?
Well,
I mean, come on. Is Fingers right here by saying that CM Punk's took too much attention? I don't know. If they didn't have CM Punk going into Chicago and the mention of CM Punk going into Chicago a month ago, how do they sell out in 8 minutes?
Here's my thing, okay? CM Punk is over in Chicago.
Yep.
General, him coming back has lost a shit ton of steam. It's just Punk.
If I can interrupt here for a second, the next time when he came out Wednesday, the pop wasn't there.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't like the first. That's why he needed to wrestle. I'm sorry, man, but
I agree with that. He should have wrestled before the pay-per-view. Yes,
the 6-man would have been perfect to end the show, especially when they're giving you Q-Tip Marshall and these other jabrones. This company has a chance to really take a stranglehold on the watchers of professional wrestling, with Vince not giving a solid Monday product, and more or less his solid product is on a Friday night, which, let's face it, Mike, how many people watch professional wrestling without DVRing it on a Friday night?
I'm not even watching it. I'm sitting down.
I am right now. I'm watching it with my boy. But I mean, can I tell you what a match they're going to give you for SmackDown? They're going to give you Roman Reigns and Finn Balor for a main event.
Yeah, that's getting interrupted.
And it don't matter.
Either Brock Lesnar's coming out in that match or somebody else.
And now we're about to see Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. So, I mean,
it was a great match.
Yeah, like Raw didn't give you any of this. SmackDown's the show right now. Whether or not anybody wants to believe it or not, I do not. Every time I watch this show, I say, wow, the matches they put out are very good. To kick the show off, you have the Usos versus the Profits, and it was a very well built together match.
Well, I've always liked the Street Profits.
Yeah,
one team, them and Todd and his partner, though, two teams that came from NXT that did not fail.
Yes,
and Todd.
I'm gonna give AEW a little bit of credit right now. So 2.0 is kind of growing. They got some good mic skills. I do have to say that.
Yes,
I've always liked. I'm sorry to say I should have mentioned this when we were kind of like downgrading them there a couple weeks ago. I've always liked 2.0 when they were doing the coffee gimmick and NXT and stuff.
Yeah,
I did like them.
They remind me, I'm sorry, but they remind me of the Rougeaus twisted up. And I used to like the Rougeaus when they were heels with Jimmy Hart. So there you go. And they used to be known as the All-Nighters when they first came out.
Well, okay, Fingers, you can't say that because unfortunately, I've been forcing myself to watch AEW the past couple of weeks, and she's been running her mouth about Statlander. So, and the Big Show, Paul White, they've built that up a little bit with what's his face, QT Marshall.
They have built it up. What is he saying? And not for nothing, they built up the Lucha Bros with the Young Bucks match too, or as we call them, the middle-aged Bucks.
Andreas is going to be on the card. He's wrestling. It's probably going to end up wrestling Daniel Bryan as the mystery opponent.
Who's this? What? Wait a second now. What was that now?
Andreas is backed out. He couldn't travel troubles again.
So would that be a code for he got COVID?
Probably.
And then like I mean, not for nothing. It's probably their best pay-per-view card they've had, Jimmy Fingers. And you're talking about a promotion right now that's not writing they're not writing basic storylines. They're giving fans dream match scenarios. That is the way that this company focuses. It's a dream match scenario company.
And that is the reason why I call it a super indie fed. They are indie booking is what they're doing. And whether everybody wants to admit it, accept it, it is what it is. They are indie booking. There is no writers. There is no generals backstage saying, no, you can't do that. You got to do it this way. They are indie booking. That's what they're doing.
Well, they're giving off. Their card. They're giving off a very good. They're giving off a good match card right now. I mean, they do.
So back to the whole Punk thing that you were asking me.
Yeah.
So, as I said earlier, the whole nostalgia of Punk coming back after 7 years has lost a shit ton of steam outside of Chicago. Chicago, he's over. That's like you if you came back to Everett or Malden, right?
Yeah.
After living where you are for how many years you've been living up there, and you come back and your main event in an indie show, you're gonna get that pop because that's your hometown. And if it's promoted right, and you'll get that pop. So Punk gets that pop in Chicago. 100%, no doubt about it. Outside of Chicago, like Pelly said, second time he came out and they weren't in Chicago, it wasn't anywhere near the first pop.
Yeah, I agree. It was nothing like that last week that on in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hell no.
Right. So he should have. You're right. He should have wrestled last night. They should have did that. They should have did a 6-man tag. They should have.
And it should have showed that they couldn't work together, giving heat, showing that there's actually going to be a baby face and or a heel, or just two rough son of a bitches that are going to beat.
Even if Darby Allin took the heat and CM Punk took the hot tag.
Yep.
Right.
And it's some way somebody got bumped off the apron, leaving Sting to the wolves, and Darby Allin doesn't like this. It could have been written. Can't tell, and the house would have went crazy.
But that's where the indie booking mentality comes in.
But then again, a guy like James Forbes is gonna like, and I'm sorry, but this is probably other fans. The WWE would have set that up for of course they would have, because not for nothing, it's the week outside of pay-per-view. And
yes, to go home.
When a company's not concentrating like the WWE does on just a $10 view, and you're concentrating on a $40 to $50 view, you bet your butt that you really did. But I mean, then I can see the reverse logic. If they see CM Punk wrestle, ain't nobody gonna pay for the pay-per-view. But he's not wrestling. he's wrestling, but he's a tag team partner of the guy he's gonna go against, who they have no storyline other than I watched you on TV, and if I was 14, you would be my favorite wrestler. Whoop-de shit. That's not a storyline.
No.
Right?
And that's where, no offense to Fingers, but that's where the Mark mentality comes in, because he doesn't get it. You know what I mean? Like, we get it as being in the business. We get it. We understand it. It's setting up a match for a pay-per-view, or setting up a big match down the road. So,
Yeah.
It's like forcing them to tag. Like, okay, you have two heels, you have a baby face and a heel feuding. Just like if WWE would force Reigns and Brock Lesnar to tag together, and they win the tag titles. So now they have to really coexist as a team, but they hate each other in the meantime. Like,
if you remember, Mike, a lot of the times when I was writing TV, and even as minuscule as it was for us being on Access Television, I used to do that crap all the time.
Yep. You and I have been in that kind of an angle when I was doing Apocalypse. We did that.
Yep.
So,
like I said, I wrote that angle a bunch of times. It's a formula. It's a formula that realistically goes back an age-old independent wrestling booking, where they went into towns and nobody knew. And by the end of the night, all your favorites and all your heels are in the ring at the same time, bidding a goodbye.
So I do have to touch on one thing that Eric Bischoff Jr. decided to tweet out after last week's Rampage, claiming that they were the number one cable show on Friday night, which is a bunch of bull crap, because they weren't even close to being number one in any demographic, never mind viewers. So
I've seen that on a YouTube European show, because I watched this YouTube clip for about 15 minutes. That's what made me late to come online, because they were talking a little bit about some stuff that I was interested in.
So here's the numbers from Friday night. Total viewers, SmackDown did 2.6 million. Page did 725,000. So right there, they weren't number one. Number two, they're 0.34 in the 18 to 49 demographic. SmackDown did a 0.59. So where were they number one?
SmackDown is doubling Raw's numbers.
Yep, they are. Do you know why? Because Fox is writing SmackDown. Everybody who's writing SmackDown for SmackDown is a Fox employee.
And they must not step up. Vince probably doesn't step on them.
He can't. Are you kidding me? The money that he's getting from Fox? There's no way.
How long does the network stay with NBC?
Would they sign a 2-year deal?
2 years? Do you think it would be better off moving to something that was lined up with the Fox affiliation and just everything moving to Fox?
Well, I don't want to. Raw on Fox.
What can you do on Raw? What can you like? Here's the thing, Mike. This is another thing.
What can you do at Raw? You want to know what you really want?
What can you do at Raw?
You give it back to Heyman and go back to real wrestling. That's what you do. You get rid of Jason Jordan, because obviously he's dropping the ball.
Yeah.
Give it back to Heyman.
And get rid of writers that don't know wrestling.
Exactly. You get rid of Heyman, or you get rid of Jordan. You give it back to Paul Heyman. Let him write just Raw. Nothing else. No SmackDown, no NXT. Leave him alone with Raw and let him do what he does best. And I can guarantee you that Raw in a month will blow everybody away. And for the love of God, stop releasing people.
Who'd they release this week?
They're getting ready to release people. I just to give you a list of people that might be going.
Why would they get rid of Tommaso though?
Well, did you read the article? Did you read the interview that he gave on Fightful Select? He'd rather retire
No.
up to Raw.
Say what?
He'd rather retire than go up to Raw, but it's got nothing to do with going up to Raw. It's got everything to do with his neck. He doesn't want to be on a 300-day schedule with his neck injury that he has.
Yeah.
So he said, the reason why he says, I don't want to leave NXT because it fits his physical limitations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's had his neck fused twice. So, somebody like that, I can understand. Now, do I foresee Gargano going up? Yes. They need to implement new blood into Raw because I love Lashley as a champion, but it's getting stale fast.
You don't think Gargano gets lost as a 200-pound competitor?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Like, look, that all of a sudden Ricochet disappeared again.
He's hurt.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm sorry, but yeah, he's probably getting lost because Johnny Gargano is not a Finn Balor, in my opinion.
No. Johnny Gargano was just pound for pound, one of the top 5 chain wrestling and submission wrestlers probably in the world.
Well, you got to put Finn Balor in that
top 5, top 10.
Too.
I'd say he's in the top 10 when it comes to being a legit technical wrestler. There's a reason why they call Johnny Gargano the nickname Johnny Wrestling. Not just because he's from Cleveland and the Browns drafted Johnny Manziel at one time, and that was a fraudulent name to call that guy Johnny Football when he's just Johnny Waiver Wire.
But I think in that context, you see that Johnny Wrestling won't get the crowd reaction that a Finn Balor will.
I don't know there, Pelly. I think Johnny Gargano could create Daniel Bryan type stuff.
He could.
Maybe.
Sorry, buddy.
All right.
No, don't go all right. Don't whip into me, you freaking jackass. I'm just telling you. I believe Johnny Gargano. I think the Way is one of the best things right now. With them losing Austin Theory, okay, and adding Dexter Lumis along with Indy Hartwell,
the only reason why they added Dexter Lumis is because his wife is pregnant.
Whoa.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, Candice LeRae is pregnant. So they had to add people because it couldn't just be Johnny Gargano the Way.
So eventually, I did not know she's pregnant. All these WWE ladies getting pregnant now.
Yeah, and that Mandy Rose thing of her being pregnant was a rib. Obviously.
Why is she back down in NXT? Is it to season her better as a singles competitor?
She was never in NXT.
Oh, really?
She went right to the big time. She never was in NXT ever. I don't know why they keep saying that because she was never in NXT ever.
She was in NXT for a cup of coffee. I think it was 3 weeks. 2 weeks was a promo, and she had one match. She wrestled in all gold. It was back in Full Sail University.
Yeah, well, it must have been no lasting impression on me because I had no idea.
Yeah, it was, Mike. It was. Can I tell you? It was a legit cup of coffee. It's 3 weeks, 2 promos and a match. That's it. She was in Absolution.
Okay.
Cup of coffee.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Right.
So, do you what is like? I'd have to ask Triple H, even though he's married to Stephanie, and if all is true that Vince and the Stooge Bruce Pritchard are going down to basically start writing the NXT product. Could you ever see Triple H leaving the WWE and moving on to something else?
No. Nope.
You don't think this pisses him off?
Oh, I'm sure it does. I'm sure that he's trying to buy NXT a separate company altogether. That's what they sold a lot of their stocks in WWE to see if they could buy out that part of NXT for NXT. I've heard that rumor, and I would believe it because that's his baby. You know what I mean? It proves the fact that he puts on a better product than Raw. NXT, everyone goes, oh, the numbers are numbers and numbers. NXT, hands down, better wrestling, better storytelling than AEW and Raw. Not SmackDown. SmackDown's much better than NXT. But NXT, in my opinion, is better than AEW and better than Raw.
Whose idea was it to not sign indie talents anymore and bring in like the next
Dude, that's a crock of
generation?
shit. Look who they just signed.
They signed all.
They just signed a kid from 3D school, and they signed
Fatu.
His brother. Yeah.
Were they in the Indies before that?
Yes.
Who did they sign now? They signed Fatu's brother?
Yeah, the youngest one. They signed the youngest brother. And then they signed Daryl Dawkinson's nephew, who graduated from the Dudley School and was working independence for a year and a half. So for them to say, oh, we're not scouting any talent, you're full of crap.
That's what I heard, because they're looking more towards like.
All right, so see, I watched a video on this, and a guy, the English dude on YouTube, and he basically reiterated and said that it doesn't mean that they're not going to sign indie talent. He goes, because he played a bit from an interview with X-Pac, and it was basically X-Pac saying to him on the broadcast that if you think that if the office hears that there's a buzz, that they're not going to sign that indie guy.
Of course they are.
Yes. He said, you'd be a fool to think that the WWE is not going to. What they mean by this is that they're not just going to set their concentration on the signing indie talent alone. That they're going to go back. They're going to go back after trying to get like the Braun Strowmans, the guys that are just weren't involved in wrestling. They're freaks and natures. Let's bring them in and let's see what they can do.
And I think the reason they want to go after these guys is because the indie talents, one of their main priorities is getting the indie out of the indies.
Yep.
They got to get those traits out of them so they can teach them how to work for TV.
Listen,
work a certain way.
I honestly believe Vince is stuck with Bruce Pritchard, and the both of them together just don't want the product to evolve.
Well, not for nothing. If that's the case, then he needs to retire, because you cannot keep the WWE in the PG era anymore. It's just not feasible. It has to evolve. Wrestling in general is evolving. Okay.
I like the
AEW is making a mistake right now.
Yep. The promos in AEW. You can swear. You can swear on TNT.
Well, Raw started doing that because I forgot who it was. Ran his mouth a little bit.
Well, yep, the WWE has to do something. And like I said, I'm a firm believer in let's wait until this draft thing goes on. Let's see where they go with the draft. I think it's funny that even though I haven't been on the social media thing for a few, that I haven't seen much of a buzz about Bray Wyatt. It's been basically Braun Strowman now putting a thing on that he has a big major announcement on Wednesday, supposedly. And there's been
This
talk
Wednesday
about
coming up.
what?
This Wednesday coming up.
This Wednesday coming up at noontime. Braun Strowman has a big announcement. And
I can see him go. I can see Braun Strowman going to AEW.
yep.
It can work.
He has this guy like who I watched, the English dude. He showed this vignette of all his Twitter stuff that he's put out. He's hinted to Impact, and then he's had 2 different tweets that have had key phrases from a good friend of his, namely EC3. And this guy seems to believe that, like everybody, that yes, he will end up in possibly AEW, but don't be surprised if he ended up in a place like Ring of Honor, being with EC3 and being his lead guy.
Well,
So,
he is working EC3's show.
Okay.
About that. Him on a road glide and banging on the door, and EC3 opens it, and Strowman standing there. I saw that.
Do you know what he's going to be going by on as an indie name?
Titan.
Yes, Titan.
Yeah.
That was this English dude. I like his stuff on YouTube.
That's worse than freaking Jimmy Fingers.
He had some good info.
So let's can we are we doing kind of like a free for all tonight?
Yep.
So we all know that Daphne took her life, correct?
Yes. R.I.P. Daphne.
Yes. And the biggest piece of shit in the wrestling business is none other than Carl Anderson.
What?
Have you not? You don't follow Twitter, do you?
No, I do not.
Oh my God. So WWE put out a post saying that send a text to their internal talent. If you have mental issues, if you feel upset, reach out to us. We have counseling set up. And this low-life scumbag, piece of crap, overrated mark that he is, I can't, like, he goes, he basically tweeted back, so what, they suck, talking about the WWE. Now, everybody in the wrestling world is kind of messed up that she took her life. You know what I mean? And then you go out and use that to upset because the WWE thought you were a mid-carder, and you are a mid-carder, and you can't get over. So you're going to go use that to bash the WWE? Dude, this guy is spiraling out of control. I wish you were on Twitter because some of the stuff that people are there, he's just getting bashed left and right.
He just killed the bullet. He just killed Machine Gun Carl Anderson. Just put a bullet in his own head.
Yep, most certainly did.
That's not good. Not good. He likes.
That's what an idiot.
He'll be lucky if they don't fire him. To be honest with you.
Well, Mike, like I've dealt with mental illness for 20-some years now, and sometimes
we all do. I fight my demons every day. I hear you.
Yeah, but
I was just talking
for some people to put down people with mental illness and to disregard other people's mental illness and put that down, they've got issues of their own.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. First of all, he got caught cheating on his wife, and it went public. And then
Kyle
he's just
Anderson?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There's pictures of him drunk with some chick. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, as he says, his hot Asian wife. That's what he
Yeah.
tells everybody.
Now, well, his hot Asian wife's going to take him to the cleaners. He's going to be in the poorhouse. So
He ain't going. He ain't going back to Japan anytime soon.
no, dude, he's a clown. He is a bitter person that could not get. Oh, you were attached to AJ Styles and you still couldn't get over. There's a problem there.
Yeah.
And honestly, they're not over in AEW either.
No,
really
they're not.
We already said that. You're good. Shut up. So, I mean,
I got to go in like 10 minutes because it's quiet time here at 11 o'clock.
Yep, don't worry about it. I figure I'm gonna get going anyways. I want to watch the New Japan pay-per-view.
where are you?
He's at his parents' house. They're old.
Yeah, I've been at my parents for a month while I'm healing my ankle.
Are you? Yeah, you're still in bed. Do you even get up and walk around, or do you use an oar to get around the bed?
No, I just go in here when I do the podcast and
He's gonna.
try to be quiet.
I can see Pelly going to the kitchen.
He's got a trolling motor for a fucking a crawdad mode on it.
I got one of these. Look, hold on.
You got a knee. Oh my god! Get the hell out of here! You think you're fucking Mark Henry? I wish I was going down the road. I see ya.
That's awesome, Pelly. We love you.
So-
We're just your child.
So what does this Logan Paul got to do with the WWE? Is he gonna get a match
He's
in the
gonna wrestle. Actually, he's actually gonna wrestle.
like as a wrestler or just like one time?
Yeah.
Mike, do you make those fart noises with your mouth, or are you involuntarily shitting yourself after every comment? Who is that?
I'll tell you in a minute. I know who it is. It's a bald-headed clown.
Shitting yourself after.
Yeah, it's Bozo trying to rib me. He couldn't rib himself if he tried.
Is that Forbes?
Yeah,
The
doofus.
Don King got enough time to sit there and
Exactly.
text like a maniac.
But he can't come. He cannot come on here and take his lumps because he's a moron.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's gonna be mean to me, so I can't come on. Boo-hoo, where?
Jason told me
Well,
I
see-
don't know how to book things and people would want to see that match. But if I was in the crowd, I could sit and wait to watch and pay $60 to watch a guy who hasn't wrestled in 8 whole fucking years. Sorry.
Mark. M-A-R. Mark.
Yep, he just called himself a chicken. Shh, it's around the corner heel.
Well, first of all, he's not a heel, but the first part he is.
Well, yeah, he can consider himself like Bobby the Brain Heenan.
Not even close, but okay.
How about the other guy there with the
Harvey Whippleman.
guy?
That's who he is.
Harvey
He's Harvey-
Whippleman, yes. Jimmy Wimbledon. Actually, you probably want to hide your face under a mask and you can be kimchi.
Hey, Jimmy, Fingers, you need help getting your foot out of your mouth? Well, let us know.
So,
So,
if NXT gets that crappy with this new makeover, and ratings fall and fall,
get your foot out of your mouth? Well,
do you think the 3 years that they've signed could be something that they quite possibly could regret?
I think they're going to regret it because I kind of agree with Fingers when he says it looks like Nickelodeon because it does. Have you seen the
Yeah.
set?
What?
Have you seen the whole set?
No, I haven't seen the whole set.
Why would we want to do a live stream to watch paint dry? Shut up.
Rampage and I don't know. I haven't finished with watching the best products on TV right now. SmackDown.
So I saw pictures of the set. It's not. It doesn't get me excited. I'll put it to you that way. It looks ridiculous.
Why are they adding all of these colors and stuff?
No idea.
What is the ring going to be looking like?
It's gonna have the video boards on it with that stupid paint. Well, somebody shot it with a paintball gun. It's retarded.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea like why they're doing this. Like, just leave something. Like, honestly, leave NXT alone. They have a good.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Exactly.
And
yes,
the road
down weeks, but other than that, it's been their best product besides SmackDown. Like, you cannot just give the devil, like, you can't give credit where credit is due. Triple H and Shawn Michaels know how to write and know how to produce a good show. Plain and simple. Is he that much of an egomaniac that he's got to have his hands in everything? Obviously.
Yeah.
Yes, can I help you?
Thing is, I'm watching the pay-per-view. New Japan something barbecue. Plus GCW's on at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I guess I'm gotta go, guys.
All right there, AJP. You have yourself a good night. Quiet time. It sounds like the dormitory, and I used to work it over at the high school. It's lights out time and quiet time.
All right,
don't
guys.
break your oar. Get into the kitchen.
Yeah. Be careful. Don't break your hip.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right.
Later.
Take your magnesium.
All right. Talk to you later.
Hey, I take that every morning. Shut up. It's good for your heart.
Bless. God bless.
Yeah, God bless, buddy.
All right. See ya.
Yep. Row your boat.
You're such a jerk.
Gently off my screen. Merrily, 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 merrily.
I don't know, dude. I don't understand. I just honestly think that McMahon's losing touch, to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that they're doing, especially on Raw. Like, what did I do on Raw this week? Yeah. The matches
I
were
watched
good.
1 hour of it. I bothered not to go back to watch. I thought SmackDown was decent. I mean, I thought NXT was a decent show. It wasn't. I can see how they're starting to use some different people. I like how they're building Ridge Holland. You know, I really thought with the way that they're utilizing Tommaso right now, why would they want to get rid of him? Letting Carmelo Hayes win seems like it's something that they may regret, whereas if Vince really likes the bigger competitor,
well,
why wouldn't they have let the other guy win?
From what I heard from people around here, especially Malonis, that everyone, and I mean everybody, loved Christian. Like they're putting a lot into him. So
I wonder if that will all hold true when Vince and
they're supposedly, from what I've heard, you know, and he's told me it came from the horse's mouth that Vince loves him.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I mean, it's no, we're looking at your head's not on TV, so just you're not even on here, pumpkin head. So just be quiet.
Now we
Dude,
really.
hey, you know what I heard? This is a good one. So they're redoing the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown, and they want Forbes to start starring it. Just his head.
that thingamajiggy, his goat.
No, he's got to shave that off and put it on. He's got to dye it black or green and put it on the top of his head so he could be the stem.
Oh, Jesus.
So
that was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about was just the whole revamp of NXT.
Now it doesn't make any sense. What I want to talk about real quick, and then if you want to get off, we can, is the beating that Charlotte Flair got from Nia Jax.
I did not see. I guess I'm gonna have to watch Raw now.
Yeah. Well, what in God's name was Charlotte Flair thinking of trying to shoot with Nia Jax?
I'm going back and I'm gonna have to watch Raw.
Now they ended up going back to working, but in the middle of the match they were shooting with each other, and all of a sudden Nia Jax's inner Bruiser Brody came out and she slapped the taste out of Charlotte's mouth. Oh my God, I was so happy that she slapped her around like she did. Then she tried dropping her on her head, which was dangerous, but she was pissed.
She almost dropped her on her head?
Oh yeah, wait, go watch the match.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Look on her tongue, and she has red on it last week.
Oh, really? Did she bleed?
No.
Okay. My son thinks that she was bleeding in her mouth.
Could have been. He might be right.
He goes, go back. He is like, go look. She has red in her mouth.
In her tongue, actually.
In her tongue? Okay. Oh,
he's
man.
too funny.
So next Saturday, we're gonna go on at 8. Yep, we're gonna just shoot the. We'll take everything into account. We'll talk the best of everything. Saturday night, 8:00.
I will not be here.
Where will you be? Wrestling?
No, I got something going on in Rhode Island.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
I might. I mean, if I am, I'll be on, but I doubt I'll be back in time. I'm hoping to be back in time.
Then I need a couple of weeks to get acclimated to the new job, man.
That's fine. Whatever.
I got a lot of because it's not basically I'm a teacher. I am a teacher. That's the scary thing.
God help them kids. Do not teach them how to smoke pot.
Shh. Can't even say that word.
I keep forgetting. Sorry.
I don't know. In case my students or anybody watches, I don't know what he's talking about.
This week has been a tough week for me, so.
Well, it's lousy to hear, man.
You know, it's just the kid Tyler.
Yeah.
He passed away, 19 years old. You know, the couple suicides in wrestling. My new job is
Tyler. Who is this kid Tyler that's 19 years old?
So Tyler was a young man who loved the business. At 14 years old, wanted to start training.
Okay.
15 years old, was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor, cancer of the brain. At 18, he agreed to do experimental drugs to try to kill it, and the drugs killed him. So It's not fair. I feel for his parents. I have an 18-year-old.
Yeah, I know.
No parent should be burying their children. He was just a baby and did not even get a chance to live. His life was just starting. So I went to the wake on Wednesday night. It was not good. I got kind of emotional when I walked in there. Because I don't like wakes to begin with, or funerals, or So, but then when his parents saw me, because I get along with his parents really well, and I they only live the next town over from me. His mother lost it when I walked in, so because the kid was there, he every show, even when he was sick, he was at every show helping, setting up, doing the ring, doing music. So he was one of the boys. He was in the back doing music. So, we did a. He had passed away on my birthday, actually, which is even better. So that the 28th, we did a tribute to him and stuff like that, and that was emotional. So yeah, it's been a bad week. It's been a tough week.
Yeah.
That I don't know if you saw that post that I put up. Celebrating my 50th birthday, and here's this kid that doesn't even get a chance.
All right, that's what it meant. Okay, because I had remembered there was a person from wrestling that also passed like that day or the day before.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Big Jim. He committed suicide. So, we talk about mental health on a regular on this show.
Yep.
It's not a joke.
Yep.
So when I came on the air, I was talking to one of the boys out in North Adams. And he was having some issues. And I meant it when I said, I'll talk to you whenever. So as you and I, as we were doing the show, I was Facebooking with him. It's just, I feel bad because I'm not out. I can't get in my car and go talk to him or pick him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He lives in Adams. So it's not, I went through it. I went through it when I had my issues with Janet and I was homeless and living in a hotel or sleeping in my car. If I didn't have people that would, Chappelle is one of them. He would always check up on me. Big Gun, let me stay at his house for a while. If I didn't have people in my corner, I don't know if I'd be here right now. I tried twice and failed. So, you know what I mean? That's why I have this tattoo on my back of my neck. It's a semicolon. It means my story's not done yet. So, when I feel bad for Daphne, because I caught her live stream on Instagram before she did what she had to do. And she wanted her brain to be sent to Boston to be scanned for CTE from all the stuff that happened in wrestling. So obviously there was issues there that she couldn't control. So,
Yeah, it's horrible, man.
It's not, you and I are basically the same age. She'll be 50 next year.
Yep.
And I'm grateful for our friendship.
Yep. Same here.
Even though you live out in the mountains with the goats.
Yep.
Still my boy. You know what I mean? I
Yep.
still love you. You're my boy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We've known each other for 20 plus years. If you had ever called me up and said that you needed me, I'd be in my car and on my way up there. You know that.
Same here, brother.
So
Same
You know, we
here.
pick on Jimmy Fingers. I consider Jimmy a friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes he's a moron, but I still consider him a friend. You know, what he was going through. I reached out to see if he
Yep.
was okay. So, you know, doing the show is one thing, and being a heel on the show and going back at it with people is one thing. But, and I mean this, if anybody ever has any issues and they need somebody to talk to, my phone's always on, and I'll always answer. I don't care what time it is.
It's appreciated, my friend. That was one of the big things. That was an hour of my day this week was suicide prevention and suicide. And
Yeah.
I didn't know this, but this year alone, there was two kids that in my area that live streamed themselves committing suicide. I did not know that this was a thing, man. You know?
So, a while back, I think it was last summer. So I have TikTok, so I'm on TikTok, whatever. And a gentleman posted a video on TikTok of eating a shotgun and pulling the trigger.
What the?
They took it down immediately, but for the people who saw it, and I'm one of them, it was very disturbing. Because, not to be graphic, but it just didn't blow a hole in the back of his head. It blew his head completely off. Like, this way. So, for somebody who's hurting that much to go on a social media platform and actually kill themselves, they're looking for help before they actually did what they had to do.
Yes, they are.
And I say I hate people. This is one of the reasons why I hate people, because there is no there's no goodwill towards mankind. There's no goodwill towards other people. A lot of people just think about themselves. So I was in a motorcycle club, and they wanted to talk about brotherhood, right? I left it because they don't know what brotherhood's all about. We do.
Yep.
You know, I compare that stuff to wrestling, because when you get in the ring with somebody, I put my life in your hands and you put your life in my hands.
True.
That's trust. That's family, and that's brotherhood. Hold on 1 second.
Yep.
So yeah, so like I said, it was a bad week, but I got through it. You know, I've been working 15-hour days all week. You know, last week I was on a mini vacation because I'd already planned it for my birthday.
Yep.
But you know, I didn't get home. Today's the earliest I got home was at 5 o'clock. Other than that, I've been getting home at 6:30, 7 o'clock every night. Eating dinner, going. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I haven't had to do paperwork or study or watch videos and do this shit for fucking 5 days straight.
Yeah, so you gotta put your wrestling will always be here. We will always be here, but you need to put your personal life and your family and your kids before wrestling at this point in stage of the game.
Yep. So, with that being said, my friend, Saturday night, if you're able to tune in, let me know.
Yes, I will. Well,
And
just send it to me like you normally do. If I jump on, I jump on.
All right, brother. To everybody out in Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube, we'll see you all Saturday night for We'll Shoot the Shit from me to you. Have a great one. Good. Niz. I